Hi, I'm Kelly Ballman with the Salvation Army Samaritan Center. We offer adult day services to people from the community. We help families take care of their loved ones and give a sense of purpose to the participants. I invite you to stop in or call to see what our program has to offer. We are located on West Hubert Avenue in Lancaster, and our phone number is 740-687-1921. Remember, the Samaritan Center changes how you live, not where you live.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Lancaster Perspective. I'm Mike Miller. My special guest today from Destination Downtown Lancaster, the Executive Director, Dave Scheffler.
Good afternoon.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good and happy to be here.
There's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on.
It's exciting to be downtown right now.
Now, I got to ask, because you've been around, you've done a lot, worn a lot of different hats for the community and all those things. How did you get involved in this?
Well, I actually retired from the corporate world in 2009 and was quite happy and busy being retired, including stints on the DDL and the Special Improvement District Board. And when the prior director left in September of 2014, since I was not working, they asked me to be the interim until they hired a new director. And I said I'd do it for 2 months. And shortly after that, the arm twisting started. Since I was so involved, lived right across the street from the office. And I was very much enjoying what I was doing. And
Which was nothing, right?
Well, no, I mean, as in the job once I got started.
Okay.
And, you know, it's a chance to just stir things up downtown. And so I thought about it and came up with a list of conditions under which I would accept the job, and the board said, okay.
Wow.
So here I am. I've been on the job now for, wow, over a year and a half, and I'm still having fun, and lots of good things are happening downtown, so it's a good time to be there.
You've been downtown, like I said, you've been involved in the community. What was the transition? What kick-started this to get all this going again?
You mean the downtown thing,
right.
And the revitalization and all the good things going on? It's just a long process, and you know, when things happen, it seems like they happened instantly, but they didn't. It was seeds that have been planted over the last 5 or 6 years to get things going. And it's like a snowball, and you know, it starts out slowly and it builds up and builds up and builds up, and all of a sudden people notice, and bang, it just builds on itself then. So you know, right now we literally have no retail spaces downtown for rent.
How long has that been since we've had that? It's been
years. I can't remember the last time we had no spaces for rent. We do have a few empty buildings, but they're for sale, not for rent. Or in some cases, the landlord just isn't interested in renting or selling or doing anything and chooses to leave them sit there empty. But it's disappointing to have to tell people that call looking for space that we have no space. But it's also a real good thing for the residents and the merchants and the restaurants downtown because there's a lot of traffic, business is good, events are well attended, and you know, hopefully people are making money.
Now, you talked about seeds being planted years ago and all those things. Have you visited other downtown organizations? Have you gone other places?
Oh yeah, and there is an organization. There's Heritage Ohio, which is an organization of the downtown associations from across the state. There's a national organization. Also, I visit other downtowns whenever I can, and we regularly get calls from other downtowns saying, "Hey, we heard you do this. How did you do it?" You know, they pick our brains, we pick their brains about events and fundraisers and that type of thing. I also have a residence in Charleston, South Carolina, which is kind of a disadvantage to my predecessors and maybe prior city administrations, because lots of great things happen in Charleston, and I come back and say, hey, you know, look what they did. Why can't we do this? Or we can, but now it's my job to do it. So,
Let's talk a little bit about phone numbers, websites. We'll do it a couple times through the show, but
Sure.
if people want information about Destination Downtown.
the website is simple. DestinationDowntownLancaster.com has lots of information about events coming up, calendar of events, available properties, places to park, and it also has a link to the Special Improvement District website, and has a link to other downtown entities that are supporters or members of Destination Downtown Lancaster. So you can go look up a business, click on a link to their website, and go find out what's going on there.
Are you surprised about this? I mean, is it something that you expected?
Yeah, I guess I always thought we were going to get there, and you know, and it's incremental changes is what it is. Just a series of incremental changes. You do one little thing to make a difference, and then you do another little thing, and they just build on each other and get bigger and bigger. And you also, for lack of a better way to describe it, act like you're successful, and you know, keep telling people how wonderful things are downtown, and that feeds on itself, and you know, it becomes a reality.
There are several activities going on. I'm sure they're all on the website, but talk a little bit about some of the downtown activities that are going on.
Well, first of all, I'd like to talk about Downtown Cleanup Day, which happened on Saturday, April 30th. We had over 100 volunteers come down and work downtown. Our big focus this year was the tree wells, because we had 36 trees removed last fall that were either dead or dying, like the ash tree and the emerald ash borer that killed a lot of trees. So we had to take the lights out of the trees, dig up the daylilies that were planted around them so they could put in the new trees. And so we had the volunteers come down, replace the daylilies, mulch, put the lights back in the trees, etc. And that was a very successful event. Downtown looks great right now.
Absolutely.
If you get down there. So some of the things happening this Saturday night, we have the first Saturday cinema of the year. And we've had that for a number of years, and we had a screen that was probably, I'm going to say, maybe 5 by 7. And while it worked, it wasn't ideal, and so through a grant from the Fairfield County Foundation and contributions by Colas Department Store and the Lancaster Rotary Club, we now have a gigantic screen. It's 12 feet tall and 20 feet wide, and it's inflatable. And we had a test inflation last week, and we took it out in the park and started blowing it up, and it's like, oh my God. And it just, we had, you know, we knew it was big, we didn't know how big it was. Yeah, but it shocked us, you know, it's kind of stand back before it falls over on you or something. So The Good Dinosaur is the first movie, starts about 8:30. If you want to come a little early, there are lots of games, snacks for sale. A number of not-for-profit organizations have activities for kids down there, and we will have the inflation of the screen, which may be as exciting as the movie.
Now, and those will be every Saturday night
No,
throughout the
it's the
summer?
second Saturday of the month,
Okay.
from May through August.
Okay.
So we'll have 4 Saturday night movies. Right after that, next Tuesday, May 17th at 4 o'clock, we'll have the unveiling of the 2016 crop of sculptures that are all produced by area high school students, art students.
Really?
Fairfield Christian Academy has a very prominent and large piece that will be unveiled. Lancaster High School and Millersport High School all have new pieces. And this is a program, you see these sculptures in Fountain Square. There are probably, right now, maybe 8 or 10 of them downtown. After they're there a couple of years, they rotate back to the high schools, to the high school sculpture garden. And it's all done by local high school students. Wow. So it's an exciting program. It's kind of unique that we know of in the country, and we get a lot of positive feedback as a result of that.
That's fantastic. Now, and all these are on the website? All these activities are on the website?
All these activities, yeah, are on the website. We also have a weekly email newsletter that comes out on Friday morning. You can sign up for that and get a weekly update on what's going on downtown, what businesses might be having live music, like Square 7 Coffee Shop or Ale House might have live music on Friday night and Saturday night. Any plays or other arts activities going on, new exhibits at the Glass Museum or Decorative Arts Center, et cetera. You know, there's lots to see and do in downtown Lancaster.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we have some pictures of downtown Lancaster, and I know that a good friend of yours, Walter.
Walter, yeah,
my
my buddy Walter, which sits on the top corner of my building, keeps his eye on things going on downtown. Yeah, this is a day he didn't want to be there, but typically this is his view and how beautiful downtown is. This was actually taken after cleanup because I see the bags on the trees, the watering bags on the trees. So, yeah, so Walter has the prime view of downtown Lancaster and can keep his eye on things. He also has a Facebook page, so if you want to keep up with Walter's doings, just find Walter on Facebook, and he has more friends on Facebook than I do, so he's a popular guy.
Some of these are just...
this is fall, right, with the trees changing color. This is taken last summer when the handmade market was setting up.
Okay.
It's also the second Saturday of every month, and we'll be starting this Saturday.
Back to where Walter didn't want to go outside.
This was actually in April. This is.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. That was a shot in late April. That one Saturday morning, I believe, we woke up to that, and the next day was bright and sunny and nice.
Bright and sunny.
Yes.
The people always talk. Well, how does this get funded? Where does the funding come for this?
Well, there are actually two organizations. There's the Lancaster Downtown Special Improvement District and Destination Downtown Lancaster. They're actually sister organizations. Let's start with the SID. The SID is funded by an assessment that the property owners levy on themselves, and that's the property owners on Main Street from Memorial Drive to High, Broad Street and Columbus Streets from Wheeling south to Walnut. And it's an initiative petition that the property owners sign, and it requires the signatures of 60% of the front footage of the property in that area. It goes to City Council, and City Council passes a resolution to establish or continue the SID. It has to be renewed every 5 years, and we're at the end of the second year of this cycle. It's been renewed twice. And that produces about $69,000, which goes to the SID, which is used for maintenance, snow removal, which can be a giant expense. Last year, we spent about $20,000 for snow removal.
Wow.
And we have a company that comes and does that, puts de-icer down. Destination Downtown Lancaster then is a subcontractor of the SID that manages all of this activity for the Special Improvement District. DDL also has other funds coming in. They have memberships, supporters, event sponsorships. We have fundraisers that we get money from. So there's a wide range of funding sources for Destination Downtown Lancaster.
I know there's a lot of activity, and there's numerous businesses downtown. Talk a little bit about some of the new ones that have come in or have come back. And
sure. About a year and a half ago, we were on a roll with new restaurants.
Everybody likes to eat.
Ale House, yes, Ale House, Diamond Jim's Pizza, The Well, at the time The Lodge, which has since closed, and I'm missing somebody, Square 7 Coffee Shop, all came in. That was added to with the Signature Restaurant and Sports Bar last fall. Actually, it was about a year ago because they were open for Art Walk last year. Table One was also in that first group. So that's exciting. People like to eat. It's great to look downtown on Friday or Saturday evening and see all the parking spaces filled with patrons of restaurants. On the retail side, especially on Columbus Street, it's been very a popular place. So we have Season and Time was probably one of the popular ones that came along. Tracy Lynn's Collectibles has been there for a long time. The Paperback Exchange, which moved south a few doors from the middle of the block to the corner. Big Ideas, Arts, Crafts, and Treasures, a think I said Ruby Magnolia is there, and then the Keller building, the Kern building. The Kern building on South Columbus Street, which had a number of empty storefronts for many years, has recently been active, and they have Two Black Sheep, French Paradise, the Heritage Salon.
I'm amazed you can remember all these.
The Heritage Salon, and soon a new vintage barber shop. A gentleman is moving back to Lancaster from Pittsburgh, and it's called the Wall something, I don't remember exactly. And then Season and Time is opening up a much larger shop at the corner of West Main and Columbus Street in the old mannequin space. A lot of people that have gray hair like you and I remember mannequins. And that's a very large space, and that will be in addition to their space on North Columbus Street. And hopefully that will be open maybe even in the next week.
And there's Keller Market House?
And Keller Market House. We can't forget Keller Market House, which is a new year-round farmers market that has come into being in the last year. We've been working on it for about a year. There is a not-for-profit 501c3 corporation set up called Lancaster Fresh Market, Inc. It's in the former Lancaster Hardware Building on the northeast corner of Chestnut and South Columbus Street. And Brad Growalski is the manager. There's a board of local business people, professionals, and farm producers that are managing the entity. The building was acquired through the land bank program. It was in default on real estate taxes and had $100,000 in unpaid real estate taxes, and through the land bank process we were able to acquire the building for $1. Now, we spent a lot of money getting it back up and in shape, and we don't have a firm opening date, but we are starting to stock the shelves. We're close to getting our health department license. We've got the building in pretty good shape, and we will have a soft opening sometime in the next week to 10 days, hopefully. So there won't be an announcement, but if you walk by and see lights on and the door open, you can probably come in and buy something. Maybe plan on 10 days.
And this is all homegrown stuff?
It is all Ohio produced. Most of the farm fresh products will be from local producers or farmers within, say, 20 miles of Lancaster. We will have other products like cheese, milk, that have to come from further away, but they will be Ohio produced. We'll have AceNet in Athens is the home of a number of food entrepreneurs that started business there and are all local producers or use local products. Some of the names you might, or one of the names you might think of is Shagbark, and they have chips and salsa and they only have grain products, but basically chips. Villa de Mayo has pasta and salsa, and we'll have meat from the Berry Farm that's popular at the farmers market.
Is this going to be open 7 days a week, or just?
It will be. We're going to start being open Wednesday through Friday from 11 to 7, and then Saturday from 10 to 4. So, and as business picks up and the number of producers we have or vendors we have, we'll expand the hours as the demand indicates. We will have other things besides food. We'll have local artisan products like pottery, wood products, other art type goods that can be bought.
Right. Now there's another, or the local farmer market, that's still on Saturday?
The Lancaster Farmers Market is still, and it opened actually last Saturday for the first time this year in the Jobs and Family Services parking lot on Wheeling Street. They will continue. They are a separate entity, but a number of the farmers market vendors will also be in Keller. And we have several representatives that are members of the Lancaster Farmers Market as board members of Keller, of Lancaster Fresh Market.
When you look at downtown, and again, you've been involved with this for a long time, gee, why don't we do this?
Yeah, there's a whole lot of why don't we do this. You know, obviously the biggest possibility is the Gateway site on the corner of Main and Memorial Drive,
Okay.
which is still awaiting EPA release for
Gee whiz.
EPA release for the pollution remediation, and of course. Not to speak ill of our government friends, but
okay.
they're bureaucrats and they have no incentive to get the job done quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So while the owner of the property, Wagenbrenner, keeps doing the testing they ask for, taking the results in, the results always come back good, but then they want, test over here, test over there.
What are they testing for?
They're just looking for bad chemicals in the soil or in the groundwater, and there are a number of test wells there. And sometimes it gets quite frustrating because
absolutely.
it prevents that site from being developed for anything.
Mm-hmm.
I guess 2 years ago you would have said, what can we do, if we were the king, and it would be to fill the empty retail spaces, do something with the Columbian building, which opened 2.5 weeks ago as a new courthouse, which is an absolutely stunning rehabilitation of an old building. The mid-off is going to be equally exciting. The two recent additions from 1900 and 1930 have been removed from the back, if you haven't been there. And the original 30 structure is what's left standing. They poured 140 yards of concrete in the basement to shore up the foundation, and now the section of the building that's along South Columbus Street, the floor joists have been installed and the floor decking is down. Wow. So it's kind of exciting to walk by and look in the door and see the progress they're making there. And Brad Hutchinson, the owner, believes that they'll have the ground floor ready for occupancy in a year, next spring.
Wow. So the property that EPA is talking about off 33 and Chestnut. And
the old Lancaster glass.
Old Lancaster glass.
Right.
What would you like to see there?
Well, what I think would be most beneficial for downtown is retail on the ground floor and residential on upper floors, second and third floors. That would bring some more needed retail space to downtown, and also some living places downtown, because we get many calls at our office looking for apartments or condos downtown, and surprisingly there are over 110 apartments or condominiums in downtown Lancaster within the SID district.
Wow.
Which is a surprise if you tell people that. I was surprised when we first did a survey and found out exactly how many there were. But we could fill a lot more. And certainly there's the Essex Lofts project at the building on North Columbus Street that developer from Columbus, Tom Fortin, is working on. And that looks like it's going to happen. There'll be 55 apartment units in there with parking on the inside of the building on the ground floor. And he's in the final phases of securing financing to make that happen. And construction could start on that maybe as early as this summer sometime.
Wow, that's good news.
Oh, that's great news. Yeah, there's also some movement toward utilizing the second floors. The Glass Museum, there was 2,000 square feet on the second floor of that building that's owned by the Visitors and Convention Bureau that has sit there unused ever since they've owned the building. They are in the process of building that out for offices. It certainly would be an ideal location for attorneys, since it's right next door to the Columbian and easy access to the municipal court system. The building at 127 West Main, which was the Blank Slate gallery and shop, recently has been acquired by Integrated Services, which is right next door to them. And they will be rehabbing that, making the front of both halves of that building look the same, and will be utilizing the second floor. They are investigating the possibility of 2 apartments up there. Depends on what the cost of that will be versus the cost of additional office space up there, but we've got our fingers crossed for residential space because we could really use more residential space.
Dave, it's been great having you here. We just have a couple minutes left. One more time, website, phone number.
Destination downtownlancaster.com. The office phone number is 740-277-6607. We're typically there from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, sometimes in the evening. Call if we're not there, or we're on the phone, or we're out at a meeting or something, leave a voicemail message and we'll call you back.
Well, I tell you what, the downtown has made a huge comeback. It's really, really impressive. It really has been.
Thank you. It's as I said, there's been a number of directors in this position before me, and it's a result of seeds that are planted over years that come to fruition. And the mighty oak starts from a little acorn, and hopefully we're experiencing that phenomenon.
Absolutely. Well, again, it's been great having you here, and we wish you the best of luck in all the stuff that's going on downtown. And give my regards to Walter.
I'll say hi to Walter, and I just say we're downtown. Come on down. Catch the vibe.
That's fantastic. I appreciate it very much. Thanks for coming in today.
You're welcome.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Life's Perspective. I'm Mike Miller, and remember, until we meet again, let's make a difference.
In 1929 in Chicago, a gentleman by the name of Marion Wade, a former minor league baseball player, started the company. It was just a moth-proofing company then. In 1952, it expanded to carpet cleaning and pioneered what is now called outsourcing. And the Sidwells wanted a community that had a lot of churches, had a lot of soccer opportunities, their kids love soccer, and a good Parks and Rec department, so they chose Lancaster. And so in 1980, they moved the franchise here in Lancaster to 6th Avenue. But then in 2002, Todd George, current owner, purchased the franchise from them. And in 2004, he bought a building that's on Mulberry Street, and that's where the franchise is located currently. I'm Jay Johnson, General Manager of Service Master Clean by Todd George, where we guarantee if it's not done right the first time, we'll do it again.
Service Master Clean by Todd George, 740-687-1077, 740-687-1077.